My grandfather is a Holocaust survivor. He escaped a German concentration camp when he was about 18, 19 years old. Got on a train and ended up going to Shanghai and ended up moving to New York. And I'd always known that story, but never really properly engaged with it. Although he was quite religious, whenever I used to go to Shabbat meals with my dad, I never really kind of found authenticity there. I never really found God there, because everyone would act quite religious and we'd have to follow a set of rules, and then we used to just ended up drinking and gossiping and talking about other people. Everyone at school and university always used to call me the Jew. They always used to project a Jewish identity on me that I hadn't actually wanted or understood. I didn't really engage with that identity. During university, I was studying a communications and media degree, and I decided to do my dissertation on the Israel-Palestinian conflict, as it was something that everyone always used to talk about. I took the anti-Israel angle, and during that time I was actually dating an Egyptian. His friends were quite outspoken about their hatred for Israel, and they used to laugh the fact that I was the token Jew who hated Israel. I always knew that God existed. I just never really wanted to engage with organised religion. I never rejected God. I just never wanted to bring him into my life. And so I didn't really grow up with any faith. I was more interested in going out and having a great time, drinking lots, doing drugs, going to Ibiza, partying loads, being with friends. I didn't have any time for religion. And me and that boyfriend broke up, and it ended quite badly. I was left just feeling so crushed, and also that I'd really failed, that I'd really just hurt someone and hurt myself as well. I didn't know how to make it better. To find forgiveness, I'd only really get it from a higher power. I'd only really get it from God. I kind of started to get quite bad anxiety waking up, thinking about my life and what am I doing with my life, where am I going? I just couldn't knock this feeling of unforgiveness, and I just didn't feel whole, just searching for something more. I wanted to go to church because my grandmother, who had been like my mum growing up, had always told me about Jesus. And so I googled the nearest church. I put on my best funeral outfit. So I wore a black dress, black shoes, very smart looking, thinking that's what you need to wear to a church. Walked in and everyone's wearing Converses, checkered shirts. They are having baseball caps, and there's no seats. There's cushions everywhere. I just was so shocked. And so when I was there, everyone just was so happy, and they had this peace and this like happiness about them that I really wanted. So I just continued to go back every week, sat upstairs in church and just took it all in. And there was amazing worship. So there was this amazing music being played with these lyrics talking about healing, forgiveness, love. And it just spoke straight to me. So I sit there and just cry. And I just remember, just like it was yesterday, I just knew that God was speaking to me, and that it wasn't two separate faiths. It wasn't just being a Christian or being Jewish, but actually they tied together. And someone asked me if I wanted some prayer. I said yes. And they were like, what do you want prayer about? And I just said, I really want to know Jesus. And so she started praying for me. And when she was praying, I just felt this huge amount of joy, and so much so that I was crying. A huge weight that I was carrying just lifted from my shoulders. I just felt like a new person. I felt happy. I felt joyful. I was once this quite trapped, anxious girl, and with God, he has turned that into a huge armor and a strength. And so I really kind of embraced my Jewish identity by having faith, having this new faith since being a part of God's family. My Jewish heritage and the faith in Jesus went hand in hand. There was nothing separate about it. I found the solution for the Middle East conflict. I've seen it with my own eyes that Jew and Arab can fully unite in Jesus.